Howdy. Well, we are going to try to get these magnets going. On the last couple of streams, we got this whole leg setup going. We got the carapace. These little guns on it. Still got a little bit of tilt to them. Put the little head together. We're not going to put the faceplate on it. Most likely. Maybe I will. We got most of this torso. So what I'm going to look to do now to magnetize the weapons is I'm going to build in the shoulder piece in the first hinge, put a magnet on it, and then the corresponding part on each weapon gets a magnet, so it should just clip in. I'm not sure that I have the right size magnets for this, but we're going to find out. And if they're a little too weak, I can remagnetize it. So picking up where we were before, I basically want to do this step, do the top part of it, and then not clip these two things together. Because what's going to hold these together is actually going to be the magnets. So that is A14, A13. I'm pretty hyped. This model's dope. I'm very excited to set it up with all my other toy soldiers. 13 and 13. It's going to be a lot of painting. Still got to come up with a proper paint scheme for it. That shouldn't be too crazy. Let's see here. I need to close one tiny window over here. I now have a separate screen in front of me. Helpful. Move things around a bit. So it's a little easier. I can just sort of look up and see when people type stuff. Normally I'd have to turn my head and look at this other crazy screen. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I just took a nap. I feel reinvigorated. I feel ready to magnetize. All of these small children are sleeping. We got an inordinate amount of rain today. My garage is very damp. Had about an inch worth of water in it. That part stinks. But it's all coming from underneath the door. Which, while not a good thing, means that the patch in the wall that I cemented up actually worked. There's just too much water. Another project for another day. I got this like electric rooter thing that I gotta use in the gutter that's out there to try to get to drain back out to the street. But anyone who tells you, don't get into home ownership, you're gonna have to fix everything yourself. You don't have to fix everything yourself. And it's still yours. I'd much rather fix it myself than be paying some other old man who doesn't care about my interests to fix it for me. Anyway, I digress. That has nothing to do with modeling, really. But that is how my day went. Alright, so these two guys are going to go together. It's kind of a piston looking part. Get the two of these together. Give them a squeeze. This nubbin right here, I might have to take this thing off, but what I think I'm going to do to start, because you can always cut stuff away, is I'm just going to put the magnet directly on that, and then there'll be a corresponding magnet the other side where the weapon is. So, sort of stick on like that. Here, it's telling me to take this other piece and put it on. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to glue it together separately. And recessed in that, we'll get the other magnet. Okay, so that is 10 and 11. Those are needle nose pliers. Those are not your snips. I'll be very excited if this works out the first time. And if it doesn't, I've got room to make some modifications. The big step is just not gluing these two parts permanently together. File down some more of these nubs. Looks good enough for rock and roll. All right, so just to reiterate, normally you would slap these two guys together around that nub. It's entirely what we are not doing. I'm going to slap these two guys together. And I may need some green stuff to do this right. And then a magnet will sit in there. I got more filing to do. I got some clipping to do. There's an ugly edge. I need to order some green stuff, it looks like. Stuff good. So this guy snaps together like that. Yep, that looks good. All right. Or I need bigger magnets, one of the two. Oh, these are the magnets I got. So I'm gonna roll with it. That's a good solid fit. Get any of the excess off that squeezes through. All right. And so now I'm going to skip ahead. Press this for another couple seconds. And skip ahead and go to this step. Which step? It would have me building the gun around this post. I can build the gun around that post. I do build the gun around that post, but the first thing I'm going to do is get this shoulder all squared up. It's talking about 7E, A32 and A45. 32 and 45 it is. I'm deeply hopeful that this part goes to plan. Always redo it, but it's definitely fun. The plan works out the first time. That's a big nub. Get you off of there. One of my lights is flaking out a little bit. I wonder if I have too many things plugged into this power strip. But I suppose it will let me know if that becomes the case. I could, in theory, actually move my camera around. I'm not going to do it right now. I think I could swing my camera back over my shoulder a bit, because now there's nothing ridiculous in this new setup off on that side. That might be an interesting way to go as I think out loud. Sort of just a reminder to myself when I go back and watch this. So here's a funny thought for folks. I highly recommend, even if you're not going to post things on YouTube, that you record, if you can, even if it's just on your phone, record yourself painting. It teaches you a lot. I actually go back pretty routinely to my old videos, not to watch them because I'm sentimental, though I am sentimental about the first one. I go back and watch those because I do things and then I not just like forget how I did them, but seeing yourself do it sort of from a distance gives you a really interesting perspective on your own technique. Like, I am definitely going to go back and watch a couple of videos when I do my next batch of Plague Marines. All right. Moment of truth. Hole goes on the outside. Allegedly. All right. So, what we have here. So we're trying to center this stuff. What we have here is the shoulder piece. So this thing's still got a little flexibility to move. Hopefully too much glue won't get in there and it'll stay flexible. So that operates as a hinge because all the glue should be on this side. This thing is going to stick into the side of the shoulder. It'll have a magnet on this side, and then the rest of the weapon, starting with that hole, which used to be permanently snapped around there, that'll have a magnet. I do need to green stuff that thing in order to do this, so that might be an additional step at some point. You know what? If you'll bear with me, I'm just turned around the corner here. Going to go on to Amazon and order green stuff because I need it. Let's see, today. You guys don't have any green stuff I can get in the morning? Prime. Liquid green stuff? Is that even possible? I'm not doing it. Apparently Citadel sells something called liquid green stuff in a little paint pot. That is wild. I could just fill that guy in. All right, let's see. Let's just pick one of these and order it. Does the brand of green stuff matter? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Need a light blue yellow. Epoxy putty tape. That sounds good. Alrighty. 2-day delivery. Ship it. Thank you for bearing with me while I do my administrative work here. Green stuff. No, I don't want to subscribe and save. What an excellent sign that would be if I needed a new thing of green stuff every month. I can aspire to that, right? If I was just kit bashing everything. All right, green stuff. Here we come. All right, so those pieces are good to go. I can continue on with the weapon, and I'm excited for this because weapons are cool. C19, C26. God, these guns are bigger than the models I've already made. This one gun, I love the scale of this. This one gun's bigger than it's like taller than 2 Space Marines. Love it. Love it. Everything's so big. I'm very much enjoying the Fulgrim book. Read another, I don't know, 20 pages before I took my nap. I can see where it's going now. Very interesting stuff. I knew almost nothing about Fulgrim except for memes before getting into this, and because I ran into him briefly. The fight he has with Gilliman, I think it's actually in one of the Plague Wars books where it actually happens, or one of the places they show it. 2. But he was just stacked up there like, you know, a supervillain. Clip some more of this. think if I'm looking at this correctly, yeah, that's going to hinge on there like that. I will make sure that I get it actually correct. Yeah, big old guns. Big old guns. That's about the height. Yeah, almost exactly of that ultramarine twice. That's just swinging this thing around on your arm. And that's the really cool thing about these, that like if you are a pilot of one of these, you are so hooked up neurologically that it feels like your arm. It must really be epic. Big guns. Oh, and yeah, this isn't even the whole gun length. I take it all back. This thing gets bigger. I think this is the Volcano Lance. Is it? It's not. It's not. Something else is. I think the Volcano Lance is actually longer than this thing. This looks like a flamethrower Melta? Is that what it is? Who knows? All right. So this gets a whole bead of glue. And then, if I'm doing it right, this thing fits like that. Okay. That makes good sense. Whole bead of glue. Big, big, big guns. Oh, I might have to torch this guy again. Don't try this at home. Time to get the lighter out again. And the glue comes out. That's more fun than it looks like. Fire. It's a very long seam, so I'm being very gentle with how much glue I use. Super long seam, I can actually grab it by that pipe. Hingy thing. This guy. And it made a snapping sound. That's always positive. There we go. Looks like I'm recording slowly. I apologize for that. I should probably get this up locally somewhere else. All right, so I'm going to keep filing a little bit. Let's see here. My channel. Let's see here. There we go. All right, well, it is coming through just fine. All right. There we go. All right, well, it is coming through just fine. There's a little hinge. Right. Happy little guy. So this gun only gets a couple more little pieces parts. That's fine. Put that through. The shoulder I've done, so I'm already that far. It gets the gun part. Gets an attachment to the hinge? That seems a little scary. Seems a little scary. Okay, so I'm guessing I don't want to do that step. Because that would connect this whole thing. Down here. It wouldn't hinge anymore. That's a weird choice. A28. 2 missiles are on sprue A. 1, 2. I will skip that step for now, especially because painting that might be a total pain in the keister. But I will get back to that when I need it. And it talks about how the hinge moves, and now be the moment of truth. Interesting. So the shoulder plate does need to go on this. A little bit sneaky about it. Shoulder plate attaches to the hip bone. Oh, nice. The shoulder plate goes into these two dots. I think it is going to work. Famous last words. All right, 821 and 812. 821. I don't know that I'm going to exactly glue this minute, because this seems like a spot where it might be really tough to get in there and paint right out the gate. I may want to theoretically, if I find a 12, which is a little curved piece, there's a 12, patience will be rewarded in full. Get a couple extra little snips in here. Clean that guy up. Yeah, that guy's fine. So it's showing me that this piece, wow, all four of those just plug right in there. That's how you're doing that? That is bold. Hope that piece holds up well. Don't say that out loud. All right. In you go. 4 little posts. Theoretically, this now attaches. Oh my gosh, that's insane. It technically attaches to the gun side. What I want to do is attach it to this side, which I can kind of do. It's not terrible. I do have to, that has to be a modification. I'm not too worried about painting it, because the gun is going to come away from this. That would leave me with, if I do this sloppily by hand, it would look somewhat like that. And then conveniently, this shoulder piece, pauldron-y thing, not the big pauldron, I don't know what this piece is actually called, that would go over that. That would kind of work. Kinda. It definitely technically goes right here. But that would perma-attach it to the gun, and I don't want that. Once again, let's see if I can find magnet. Sure, why not? 8x3. Well, you can never have enough magnets, right? Just in case. Add to cart. So if I do run into problems with the size of my magnets, skip any jokes you were going to tell right there about that. I do have a fallback plan. All right, so we're attaching this to the shoulder. It is not a perfect attachment, but I think it's good enough for us. So we're just going to do it. And we'll find out later if it was a mistake. Pyrotechnics time again. I'll just leave that guy out. I'll leave him next to the varnish. There we go. All right. Keep on gluing. Now this one I have to absolutely just hold like this for a while because it's not the exact right size. Be super gentle with it, super patient. It's not precisely perfect. And the lack of perfection isn't the problem, it's that I do desperately want it to stay. Just gonna dab a little glue in there, just get the seam. And at that point, I can set this guy gently aside. Emphasis on gently. Just leave him for a bit. If there's any further shenanigans I need to do with the gun, I can do that. I don't think I have to. So this gun can sit aside. I'll just put that gun there. It's like a entrenchment, massive entrenched gun. Alright, so in theory that's how that works. I can now permute that out to a bunch of other guns. Oh, and to point, maybe I'll start with this. This might be a better example to go with. The carapace gets a choice of fun things atop it. There is a pair of missiles, twin something or other gun. So I could just build those out, and these magnets are absolutely the right size for that. I know that much is true. So we'll do it. Okay, A1 and A2. What's it? A33 and A34 and A44. Not a whole heck of a lot left on these sprues. Make good progress. I'm happy about this guy. Step back there, buddy. 44 and 34. Try not to actually snip one of my fingers off during one of these videos. It'd be so embarrassing. Injuring yourself live. Like the dumbest thing ever. It is hard to pay attention to this much stuff, though. To this much stuff, like actually doing this, keeping things in the shot. Scooching my chair up so I'm in a good position to actually do that. Getting everything right at the same time. And then following the directions. That's always a challenge for me. Those are good. And I think I do need to actually like legit think this through a little bit after I get this gun put together, because I have to think about the polarity of the magnets. The reason I say that is I think if I'm going to do this right, they all have to be faced the same way on the same plate. Like if I want the weapons to switch around, then when I do each one of these shoulders, I have to do them exactly the same. The guns have to be positive on one side, the shoulder has to be negative on the other. The carapace, the same thing needs to be true, which is not terminal, because I can always just pull the magnet off and flip it around. But I guess what I'm saying is if this one is positive side up and this one is negative side up, that's a problem. Hopefully not too big a problem. Hopefully a problem I can easily solve because they're magnets and you can just check. But if I go too fast, forget. It'll be silly. Come on, glue. Coming out. Oh my god, this thing's being such a pain. Oh, there we go. It rains, it pours. A couple little dabs. That's egregious, but the glue is being a little silly tonight. Or is it me that's being silly? Alright, so press these guys together. Tight on this side. I can only imagine what it is like for people that like live stream really challenging stuff. Though I do find, like if I was just sitting in front of my keyboard, like terribly trying to shoot stuff, that would be a lot easier for me than what I'm doing right now. A lot easier. Most of PC gaming for me is just kind of like reflexive. You get very used to the UX of how everything works and you just roll with it. Alright, so this goes in like this. Okay, so that's a hard fit in there with glue. Alright, put these guys together. That actually snaps in nicely. Should be good to go. Oh, wow, I glued that totally wrong. That's not even where the glue goes. It goes on the inside of the seam. There we go. Try that again. Just when you think you've gotten smart, you outsmart yourself. This is so humbling. Dab will do you. Oh, it does just, wow, it just, bam, fits in there right like that. That's good. That's really good. So I will have to mess with that a little bit later. Get in there with a nice sharp edge and scrape that out. But anywho, this, in theory, can sit in this hole, or this hole, or this hole. So what I should want to do is glue a magnet underneath, and I should be able to replace the peg. Snip that guy right out. Goodbye, peg. The magnet that fits exactly in it, like it was meant to be, even though I'm beating the daylights out of this poor gun because it's not done drying. It's so exciting. What a knucklehead. Oh, I look frozen. There we go. All right, so theory. Get this guy to stick. Drop in our first magnet. quote-unquote drop in our first magnet. That did not go as planned at all. Just may need to scrape that thing out a little bit. Just wing it. It does sit in there pretty close. It might be off by like 1/10 of a millimeter, but that's fine. With enough glue, all things are possible. I should let that dry. I do want to make sure it's saddled in there pretty flat. I think on the next one I might need to gouge it out a little bit. We can get the post off of it, but it's not particularly flat in there right now. So with one of these magnets set in here, I should be cleared for takeoff. I'll use that basically as the key, which means obviously I gotta let it dry a little bit, so we're gonna just sit and chill. But when that when that glue is on there solid, I should be able to check the correct side to put my magnets on underneath by putting this over the top. And the one on the bottom should be like, hey, this is a good grab. Oh, that's wobbly. That is wobbly. Am I doing something wrong, or am I just impatient? Eternal question. It's only been on there for like a minute, and it's not plastic to plastic. It's not going to melt that magnet. Anywho, when that one is solidly on there, oh, I pulled it off of this side, so I technically, no, but I flipped it. All right, I will glue another one here, and then that will just always sit on there, or there, or there, and I'm good to go. Check this guy, see how that is. Oh, that is not on there good. That's probably going to need some green stuff. That is a very sad connection. It'll do for now, and it deserves some time to dry. But it's not a very happy connection. It's not the same roundness. The inner post is like, it's like that instead of like that. What a bummer. I love the dumb look at my face when I'm trying to look over at this monitor and like simultaneously to talk my hands through something. So goony. All right. So feels kind of all right. I'll risk it. If it pops out, I'll just add more glue. So if I've got this the right way, that's the wrong way because it's forcing it around. That's awesome. Now if I've got this the right way, it sticks right on there. Weakly, very weakly. Okay, I might need a stronger magnet. Thankfully I have stronger magnets. It is trying to magnetize mostly through plastic, which might be a challenge. Or I'm really just skimping and using magnets that are too tiny. Could be a thing. Sorry for the ASMR crinkliness there. Really didn't want to come out. Alright, so I hold this guy underneath. Oop. Forced it away. This way. If I drop it every single time, I gotta do this whole thing over again. That's so silly. Unless I outsmart it. Did I outsmart it? Sounded pretty good. Could be better. Could be better. But it's on there pretty good. Alright, screw it. Let's glue it on. Let's glue it on. I have to put this down the exact right way. Alright, we'll do it backwards again. And shame myself. There's a little bit of a hole in there, which is kind of good. Ye old magnetism. It's not great. Don't you flip on me. Oh no. Clumsy hands. Clumsy hands, Zamidi. Alright, this now becomes risky. Okay. Yep. Yep. Get in there and you sit flat. Just like that. Just center that guy. Well, I still have a split second to take it all back. That needs more glue. But you saw it. In theory, this thing is hella magnetized. And now that fudge had just come right out of there. That's good. Try that again. I wonder if there's a better glue to be using on this. Every single time. Every single time we gotta check. That's that down. At least now I have like 30,000 thumbprints on it. Getting the magnet to sit flat in there, kind of a challenge. Kind of a challenge. Point where I might very gently just tap it instead of constantly trying to tap it with something metallic. Like a genius. At least we know the magnet works. Alright. I'm gonna let that guy sit. Because they like to sit. I will work on some missiles. Because I can. That is 27, 27. I'm guessing you're 35. You are 35. It is working, at least for the shoulder mounty stuff. I am pleased. I do think I need bigger magnets for the arm, so I don't imagine that these little baby magnets are going to hold that big honking gun on there at all. Oh, I still got to put the tail cap on that guy, making regulation. There we go. Wonder how the heck I'm going to transport all these guys. I'm like terrified of seriously damaging them. I don't care if they break a little bit, like that's fine, especially like while I'm playing, but I feel really weird about like showing up to a game and then opening a box up and being like, you can't see any of my guys over a 1 centimeter wall because they're all broken down into little bits. I guess I'll figure that out. Someone must make a case, or I just make a case myself. Right, directions. How do you work? Is it literally just put a rocket in each side and call it a day? It looks like that. Alright. File them first. Get any weird aberrations off, but this part looks pretty simple. Does that have a curvature on it? It does. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Goes forward. Missile goes vroom. Which part goes on the outside? That is the question. There's a notch somewhere. Does it not care about the notch? I don't think it does. I think that's purely cosmetic notch. Alright, so there should be very little in the back of it so that it can still sit flat. That part makes sense. I'm just matching this up with the picture so that I don't do anything super stupid. I think that notch is for that guy. How do you get this guy to lie flat? That's going to be exciting. All right, well, we're just going to do it. I don't think it fits so well, but be what it be. I want to break free. There we go. Hold that guy on there tight for a minute. Let's see here. Just gonna pop his data sheet up for myself real quick. What kind of missiles are these things? It's a Canis Rex. They're called Geist Strike missiles. Scroll, 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 scroll. The back button. Open image, new tab. My eyes work. They are, yeah, Geist Strike missiles. Good times. Devastating wounds. Exciting. Let's get this other rocket on here. This thing has a lot of firepower. A whole lot of firepower. Which I am excited to bring to bear. Who doesn't like firepower? Got a little spicy. Got a little spicy. I'm realizing now that I really do want these missiles to be lined up or I'm going to look like a stooge. Which I think is like semi-unavoidable. How does anyone do this right? Oh, that's right. They take care with what they do. Oh my god, these are slipping all over the place. Fool. Fool. There we go. And now I just need to hold these like this for the next 4 hours. Hard to tell if they go down too far. Oh, they do. I don't know how anyone good at this gets good at this. Oh my god, what a mess. What a mess. I just got melted plastic while I erratically sort of turn these things around. Come on, just settle. It's maybe a good time to just put this guy down. You know what? I'm fine if you're not perfectly centered. That's absolutely fine by me. All right, so let's get another turret going. At least proven out the theory that the magnets can go through plastic pretty decently. Not sure if mine are too small. I may update them in the future. But at least it works. It's not totally a myth. I mean, obviously someone had gotten it to work right. I was just checking if my own technique that I was using made any sense. All right. Oh yeah, because it's always a good curiosity. I haven't checked this thing today. Channel dashboard. Good Lord. 2,759 subs. I did figure something out. Something definitely happened in Ukraine. I have a lot of people from Ukraine, which is amazing and totally unexpected. But it is like a mathematically significant number. Let's see if I have my phone on me. It's kind of neat to do the math every once in a while. Oh, there we go. Let's see here. Show me some stats. Overall, in the last 7 days, last 28 days, 21.7% of my viewers are from Ukraine. 19.3% are from the United States. How crazy is that? That's awesome. That is nuts. And I appreciate it. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, when I was a kid, I never thought I'd ever reach anyone in Ukraine. I thought it was completely beyond me. And now it's like, yep, no biggie. Post the video of a bunch of zombies getting chopped up. People draw a parallel. And you get popular. I wouldn't call myself popular, but I made some friends. Alright, so that is pressed together. Get the two turrets going again. I'm super psyched for this guy. He's so cool. Firepower's brutal. Alright, so with the green stuff coming, I can try to kit bash as best I can. I will still have to order some pieces, parts here and there, but I'm trying to make 3 Chaos Lords not in Terminator armor. I'll try my hand at Kit Bash Palooza. See what kind of neat stuff I can come up with. Alright. Keep on gluing. Briefly have to try to figure out what my Netflix password is real quick while I do this. While I'm holding this, I don't leave you guys hanging. Let's look up, hopefully on another screen. It'd be really funny if I shared the wrong screen. Like everybody, here's my Netflix password, but the wife is asking for it. Holding this guy together. I didn't hold him long enough. Actually, it was when I connected him in here that was the problem. Yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll hold this guy, and then I'll stall for time. There we go. That ought to do it. this piece is like the USB conundrum. Like every single time you try to push it in there some way, it's backwards. Apply a little pressure there. Hopefully this text isn't too old so I don't get fired. Hopefully you're not horribly offended that I'm texting people my Netflix password. That's a pretty hilarious one. No wonder she couldn't get it right. I changed it to something really silly. All right, we're going to snip out that nub and get a magnet in there. Every once in a while, if I whip my head around, it's because I'm checking if there's actually a cat in here, if I'm just hearing things through my headphones. Nothing to worry about. I'm not going crazy. I do like to pay attention if there is a cat in here. So I put a thick boy down there. I should stick with the thick boys. Some of these are 1 millimeter thick, some of them are 2, and apparently the 2 millimeter thick ones are a lot stronger. They stick out a little further. So in theory, that's my downside. So I'll put it down that way. I know I'm gonna screw one of these up, but it's cool. I'll check it again before I actually put it on there. All right, sticky side down. This guy's actually going to post up. It may be to my advantage to actually file down a little circle. Risk it. That circle is just barely too tight for this thing to fit in. It might make sense for me to just file it off. If these guys don't end up sticking well, that is exactly what I'll do. That's a threat, if ever I heard one. All right, so I can go here, especially when you're not looking while trying to plug the USB in. Yeah, it's true. 100% true. Yeah, that's not bad. Like, it does come off pretty easily. I may want to get a stronger magnet for it, but I'm shaking it and it's not going anywhere. It swivels easy. That's pretty cool. I dig it. And my missile launcher, just check these guys. I mean, they're kind of on there. Yeah, sure, why not? Shoot your eye out. This magnet off. Another magnet. Sticks that way. That part's going to get the glue. This one doesn't have the little circular piece in it, so hopefully the magnet will just sit on there like a prince. Be happy. In theory, it should be, if that is flat, I could just set that guy aside gently. That'll be okay. So that proves that out. I can move on to a new gun, which I think is a fun idea. So I'll do that. Oh my god, this thing is like stripped. Stripped. I love it. Getting places. All right, what is the next gun? Actually, I need to finish that gun I previously did. What page were we? It gets something on the keister of it, doesn't it? C49. Yeah, okay, now we're talking. Does get a cap. Let's see. That is. That's Bees and Boys. C49. I'd have to be able to find C49. Well, I do know it gets to C20s. Yep, it does get to C20s. These are a little bit of a pain to get out, but that's fine. Take our time. There's one, there's two. It's like a super round cap. I don't know where it is, and I don't trust this thing that, aha! It's not C49, it's A49, you little savage. I knew I didn't trust you. Alright, file this guy a bit. Cap on the keister of this thing, and then these look like old TV tubes. Sure thing. Grim Dark Future, everything is just dope. Does it just snap on there? Do I apply pressure? Or does it just sit? Doesn't look like a screw. Alright, good. We just glob it with glue and call it a day. There is your hubcap. But I do care, because it's got a symbol on it. I don't want to just do it willy-nilly. I do care how it goes. Interesting. All those little ribs in there. Two of them are longer than the rest. SMRT. Smart. It does fit straight on there, and it levels out the skull. That is a smart piece of modeling work. Modeling design. Alright, so these guys just go straight in. Are they the same on both sides? They look the same on both sides. Victory. So this gun is close to done. Is there something that goes on the nose of it? 0. Good. That guy can just sit. Think about its life. That is a cool gun. I don't know that it's going to sit very well. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Next gun. The next gun, I think, is the Volcano Lance. That is A11, A12 again. Does it come with more A11s and A12s? I might find out a very hard lesson about how these guns work. If it's only got 2 of these A11s and A12s, I'm going to run out of ways to magnetize this, in theory. I haven't quite thought about that. This technique may only work if you've got, like, a lot more knights than just one, based on reuse of parts. Nope. Well, there's this guy and this guy. I might be good. I might be good. Nope, I lied to myself. These are the other side parts. All right. 2. I will find a way to magnetize these. I will green stuff my way through any problem. Alright, let's check for any crazy nubs that I might have left down there. Which I did, of course. That part looks good. Get the file out for a second. There we go. It's got a little bit of a rough edge. That feels good. Feels good. Lines up just like that. I could set him aside. These guys looked good. They do fit flush. Got a little bit of a burr to take off. A little bit on the other side. Alrighty. It's a good squeeze. Okay. Sit to the side there for now. I need the pieces of GUN. There we go. Now we're talking big gun. Better be C9 and C15. It is. Piece off, that piece off. You're looking pretty squared up. Dab. Put it together. guy's got a pretty good seal on him, so I'm just going to set him aside. And then we're going to grab C2 and C8. Oh yeah, big chunky gun pieces. Big chunky gun pieces. Always use the flat side of the snips on the model side. Always. Oh, that's a big chunk. All right. Definitely have some stuff to clip off of here. It's hard to get into. How are you looking, buddy? How are you looking? It's not half bad. Not half bad. So this then, if I'm reading this right, this hinge goes in here. At the same time, this gun goes in here. Alrighty, let's friggin' do it. Hopefully this does not get spicy. Goes like that. Skulls on both sides because it's rad. This closes the door. Yeah, that is a gun. Crazy gun. Found that piece that I knew I didn't quite snip off. I'll sand him down later. There we go. This needs to definitely be held tight. C49. I do have a C49. It's A49. That will go on the back of this guy. And this gun will be done. This is the old volcano lance. Very excited to shoot people with. Yeah, Brimstone Volcano Lance. Range 60. D3 attacks. 20 strength. D6 plus 8 damage. Ugh. I mean, obviously you want to make and hit with a lot of attacks, but oof, when you do, serious business. A little bit of a gap on this side of this guy, so I'm just going to hold him tight. Yeah, it's got blast. Alright, so actually this end nubbin will help this guy stay closed. So I'm going to put him on there. Remember the gun hangs that way, so the skull goes that way. Holding? Is it holding? It is. All right. On that note, we've got a dope gun. Got another dope gun. these top turrets. We've got a shoulder. We still need to magnetize. We've got this top carapace thing, which is magnetized. Gonna call it a night. It's been real. I need to get some sleep. I have some green stuff coming, and I will use that to fill in these weird pieces that need it. Get some slightly bigger magnets, and then we'll be pretty darn close. It's basically just weapons and hoods and shoulder stuff to do, and then we'll get started painting. Anyway, thanks a bunch. We will see you next time.